Okay, so let me just catch you up on what's happened. I started to record this episode and we had a massive power cut and it lost the recording. So some stuff has happened and we're not entirely sure what. So to catch you up, this episode it was going to be about wood cutting and just gathering a load of wood, but I decided that potentially it's literally going to be easy to do one thing. What I wanted to do this episode was basically convert the milk float that was into a large kind of flatbed truck that will help carry everything, because ultimately we're going to get to a point where we're going to need to take produce to the packaging place and then take that to the trader. So I thought that'd be a great idea. This flatbed truck will also be able to carry these resource collectors, and then what I was going to do is make a small little vehicle that will carry the drill bit and the wood blade. So the little vehicle kind of goes on the back of the trailer, like drives into it or whatever, and then I could drive it off, hack some trees down or dig up some rock, and then use the trailer, just back it up nicely or something with the resource collectors on it in order to just gather the resources. So kind of this is where we've got so far. I've got some suspension, I've got some chunky wheels, and I was kind of putting it together upon this truck, and this rear end kind of swings somewhat freely, though it doesn't really swing all that freely due to that, but that doesn't matter. It swings freely enough. So I just brought it inside because it got dark outside whilst I was just finishing off this side. It was a slight inconvenience that everything kind of went down when it did, but we move. There's not a lot you can do about it. That's just the way that the cookie crumbles. It also means that you guys luckily missed out on a load of nonsense, and it also means that my editing job isn't so difficult at the end. But yeah, so what we are intending to do, I don't know if you can hear, but we do have a raid going in. At the end of last episode, we did just plant stuff. Luckily it has all grown before the raid came in, because I know you guys can't really see the raid, so all we've got is a little load of these tote bot things, these little whip bots. But the fence does sort of work. It doesn't stop them getting to all plants, but it stops them getting to the majority, which is fine. We weren't really looking to slow them. Well, we were looking to... Whoa, hello. That's the first time I've ever seen one of them jump. That's genuinely the first time I've ever seen one of them jump. Okay. He must have got his timing right with his legs or something, but yeah. So, the farm does work, but there's no point in overloading it at the minute because you guys can't see anything out in the dark, so it's a bit pointless in trying to do anything there. So I just kind of plant a few crops and harvest a few crops when it's appropriate for me. But this thing, okay, so we're looking at doing a truck, and it's a truck that is going to carry a lot of stuff. I think if we take that back and we'll take it down a level, because we want it to sit nice and low. It's going to be a house to like a little buggy for the saw blade and the drill bit, so it might be a bit clunky, but this episode is basically going to be a lot of building, so I do apologize for that because it might be very clunky, but we'll see what we can come up with. I think that might be low enough by the looks of things. It looks like that'll put the wheel on the ground, something like that, and then we'll just zoom this out down here yay far and yay far. That's pretty good. And then if we put a wheel there, yeah, that wheel will be nicely on the ground. Now obviously I'm going to put a bearing on that and all sorts of stuff. In fact, we might go one more. I'll get one more out of this. That's too long, we don't need to do that. We'll go that far. We'll square this up. Julio, yeah, that's better. And then we'll put the bearing on the back. Do we have any more bearings? Nope, we don't. We'll crack out a couple more bearings. Interactives is where's it at? So that'll get us 2 bearings for our back wheels. Okay. So we'll do this, and we'll gather the resource collector, and we'll stuff it on the back. Also, what I'm saying is we're going to look at upgrading the engine, so that we've got at least one level 5 engine. That's otherwise it's going to get a bit meaty out here and we're going to real struggle. And they would sit slightly off center. I do have a center point on this trailer. It does have a center point. Do we mind it over sitting? As long as we make it equal, we'll be okay. Let's get it on the lift first, shall we? There we go. So, I guess we want to bring our wheel out. Yeah, wheel will be alright there, won't it? So a block of 3. There we go, the wheel sits on there. I've got to think about how to do these little buggies as well. So ideally I want one buggy that can do both things. And I might suspension glitch the steering. How does this drive so far? Badly. Why does it drive so badly? Because we don't have anything hooked up to any wheels. That makes a lot of sense. So that goes forwards. That goes forwards. That one. And then also that one. If I think... Yeah, wheels turn in the right direction at least. There we go. Bottomed out. There's bottomed out. Okay, so that's told us something that we need to take care of. If I come inside on this lip, means I can remove this lip. Just kind of give us that little bit of an angle. Yep, cool, cool. Sits nice and low. Turns alright. I mean, it's not the sharpest to turn in, don't get me wrong, but it's turning fine. Got a nice purr to it. What do we need for the engine? We need 8 component parts to upgrade that, so we'll go grab them. I like a level 5 engine, and especially if we can get it this kind of early on, really. And then it's 10 to upgrade it even further, so we will not be doing that because I think I've only got like 10 or 11 left. Right, so this is the next part. The next part is this little machine here. So at the very basic, we're going to need at least one engine, one to move it, and then obviously one potentially to turn the bit, be it the drill or be it the woodchuck and sword thing. But what I'm thinking, so if we just have one engine that does everything, that might be a little bit better for us. So we're going to make ourselves a little mining cart, and unfortunately, or fortunately, depends on how you're looking at it, we are going to be doing the suspension glitch. This is somewhat frowned upon, but it's going to help us because we want to keep it kind of nice and small and compact, and it will enable us to have like a skid steer system going on. So yeah, I get it. People might not be a massive fan of it, but it will help us do what we need to do. And it will keep it nice and compact, which is the most important thing that we're talking about here, which is pretty good. So it's something like this. I don't know how this is going to work either. If I put that on there and then put that here. Throw this on here. So this is going to be our front. This is where we're going to have our drill mounted to. Seat. Throw this up here. In fact, I want to put this, I want to weld this, so I'm going to have to turn it over. There we go. Put this back on there. So this should be the suspension glitch. If I put a wheel on here, is this going to buy us enough height? I don't think it will. It's going to be pretty tight to the ground. And awesomely, because of how the lift falls, I can't actually get to the front to get the wheels on. So we'll just roll this over. We get one on there. Here we go. We'll get that one on there. So that might... Whee! So that's our little skid steer. Now obviously we need a way to power this. That's what we've got the engine for. So we'll bring the engine onto this platform. Stick that bad boy up there. And he's going to be like 4-wheel steering. Or 4-wheel drive. Coolio. That's cool. And I suppose we might as well include... We might as well include the drill on that. Uh-oh. Always helps. There we go. Well, it looks like it's pretty nippy. And not very stable. Okay, so we'll make him a little bit wider. He will self-right, which is a good thing. It is a bit top heavy. So we need to make him a little bit wider on the footprint, which isn't too bad. We'll just bring this out 1, 2 blocks each side. Let's bring it 1 to start with. See where we end up. Take that away. He doesn't want to roll over just yet, so that's a good thing. Maybe if we just made it front wheel drive as well, maybe. He does still want to turn over, as long as we just take our time, we'll be okay. So that's pretty cool. And size-wise, there's plenty of room for him on the trailer. We've just got to work out a way of getting him up there. I'm guessing a bearing and a little rotating door. That'll see him get up there. But now we need to get the saw blade. We can craft that, so we'll throw that together. And I'm feeling if I hook this up to this, saw blade I want to come out the back somewhere, so it might be a little bit difficult. So I want it nice and low, but it needs to be away from vehicle enough that it's not going to catch on it. So it might be somewhere like this. That might be okay, I'm not entirely sure. So, saw blade goes on here. That's a bit meaty. So we'll grab the controller, sort all this out, grab the truck, bring him inside so we can all see what we're doing. Literally, we'll just slap a controller on here. Have it facing us, I like to see what we're doing. And if I put a bearing... gonna have to be inside this level. Put a bearing in there. And then hook that up to the controller. And I have a button or a switch. Switch on the back so that they're easily accessible. When we press the button, we want this to open up some. Yeah, that's right where we need it. So we want that to go in the plus direction, but we want it to go 90 will put us straight across. Let's just see. The 90 puts us there. It's quite high. We add another low. So we've got another row on. So if we go 90 puts us there, 105. 105 puts us there. Is that flat on the ground? I don't know. What's one more? 120. 120 puts us down there. So is this able to drive up here? Yeah, it is. Sort of. Oh, it's a little bit wider than I thought it would be. Oh, he doesn't like that. He's stuck on something. I'll be delicate with the steering. Ooh. Yeah, I'm going to put another motor on it. Just simply because it's a little bit fragile, I guess is the best way. So can we move that across one? Yeah, that'll be alright. Yeah, I need a wall on the other side, so I'm just going to go yeeting straight off here. I'll buy me some extra space, so I'll come out here. And just come up there. Right, let's try again. Yeah, that works there. And then if we click the switch... yeah, it keeps him in nicely. I like it. I like it a lot. So now it's daylight. We'll go outside and test him. I did test him. But like a fool, I did it in the dark, so you guys aren't going to be able to see. So we'll chug out. Then we'll just chug over a nice big tree. Chug over to this tree. So pull up here. Open the door. out of here. Up into here. I'm going to recenter this engine, you know. I don't like things being a little bit awkward off like that. So we had the 4-wheel drive that seemed to get us up a little bit easier. And then we said like that and like that, wasn't it? Okay. We only want it at 1. Connected up to the seat. Coolio in there. Coolio. It's a bit of a bump getting up and down there, actually. So then, we've got to be a little bit delicate on the old wheels. So the blade will only turn around if I give it a forwards or backwards direction. So if I slowly pulse this... No, we're going to be in a world of problems here. Ooh, hey! Works. Slowly feather in reverse. Awesome. Slowly, slowly. I think it might still be better if it was on a separate engine. I think we might have a little bit more control over it on a separate engine as well. But, you know what? I quite like it. It works. 1 tool, 2 jobs. Keeps it on the trailer. I quite like this. How awesome is this little dainty thing? Might not be the fastest thing. Oh dear. It will turn itself over. Come on. You know it will. Breakdancing. On your wheels? No. Easy enough. Just flick it over like that. Whilst we've got the lift, we might as well use it. This is pretty awesome. I'm not going to lie to you. This is probably one of the most efficient things that I've ever built. And it's pocket-sized. How awesome is that? Okay, right, now let's load this back on the truck. See how well this works. We're on. Jump off. Flick the switch. Shuts us up. Awesome, awesome. Hop back in the truck. And then, in theory, hopefully it's going to be low enough. We can just drive over everything. Haha, yes. And it just zaps it up. I mean, there's easier ways of collecting the resources, sure, but name a fun way. Tiny little skid steer. In all fairness, we can change our sort of hitch as well, so it doesn't foul on our wheels, so that it gives us a better turning circle. But that's pretty cool. In fact, where's our bearing? Our bearing is here. So if we take off these two as well... That's not even in the middle. I really butchered that. That's really not in the middle. There's the middle one. So that's the middle one there, which should be connected to that bearing. That's very different. But if we go over this, okay, so if we say we come up to, then we can weld that to that, right? Then what we're going to have to do is go up to there. So yeah, now if we just weld these two together, weld this to this, that should be like that. Now it should be able to turn better. A little bit better. If we make that joint that little bit longer, now we should turn better circles. That's better. There we go. So that's going to gather that up. But this bad boy, I think if we stick another engine on him, it'll make things a little bit easier for us. Use this for our blades. Front and back. Switch onto the driver's seat and then onto that motor. And then we can control this by the switch. Hold up. Nope, let's not do that. We'll just jump in and burn over here. We'll collect all this stuff up because it is getting dark again, so I'll not go to the rocks until the morning when everybody can see again. So I'll let this kind of refine overnight. I'm quite happy. Quite amazed it works actually. So we're back, it's early morning, and like I said, we're going to go to those rocks. See how well this thing works. It's pretty awesome. I enjoy it, and I'm surprised that it worked as well as it did. Sure, it's not aesthetically pleasing. It doesn't necessarily look good. I'm not on about looking good. I'm on about working hard and achieving what we need to achieve with the kind of minimal that we can achieve it, if that makes sense. Awesome tricks. We can pick those up. So yeah, I agree. It might not be looking great, but it's very minimal. And it does exactly what we need it to do. And I couldn't ask for a better thing than that. So we've filled up all the tanks of everything. All 3 tanks are full, and I've also got a spare can of 20 gasoline with us right there. So we'll just pootle on through. Get over here and see how this is going to go. I'm quite intrigued by this because the hardest thing is going to be obviously getting the resource container up to him. Just because it's on the back of the truck really. So we'll just hop off while it slides down the hill. We'll get this crate that's around here somewhere. Smash this open. More spuds, awesome. I just heard a hay bot. Oh, it's over there, beating up the poor cow. Hey, bad man. Thank you. Okay, let's see how this is going to work. So, power on. It's a bit heavy on the back end. We might need to turn up the motor in the back just to keep us going forwards. Need to get a little bit of balance going on here, actually. Whee! Well, that's never a good thing. In fact, because we've now put the motors at the back as well, we are a little bit back end heavy, so I'm just going to move the wheels back. Hopefully this will balance it out. I should have done this at night, I agree. Hopefully. That'll be good. A little bit more stability in the back end. That suspension on the drill has to be one of the best things that I've ever discovered. I didn't think it'd have such an impact that it does, but it is quite efficient at keeping the drill in a good way. Now our only problem is that we're not long enough and the saw blade catches on the back. That is a shame indeed. And that's what's tripping us up now. It's the saw blade. Damn. Another good idea. Not foiled, but not quite there yet. Maybe we can change how the saw blade at the back's connected, because that is one of our biggest hookups. It really is right now. It's catching on everything. Really not helping us out when we try and go up this little hill. Anything that's on the flat, it's okay, but when we've got to go up the incline, saw blade catches, and then we're in all sorts of trouble because obviously that wants to spit us around. And in terms of rocks, this still isn't quite there yet. In terms of wood though, it works perfectly well. It really does. It gets to the tree nicely, it's able to tickle the tree, gets it down, works really well. It's simple for trees. Rocks, still not sure yet. Still not quite there. Better that throttle. Keep us up the hill. Keep us up the hill. Keep us up the hill. Not that far up the hill. Looking good. Looking good. Okay. Let's break these up. Now we've widened it. Are we actually going to be able to get it back on? Doesn't look like it. Oh, it does. Maybe. Maybe. Can't really see because there's trees in the way. It's kind of there. It's just like one square too big. Just move the truck forwards because there's trees in the damn way. But yeah, it's about one square too big, which is unfortunate. So if we can make the rear wheels some drive wheels as well, maybe? I think that can work. I mean, they can hook up, can't they? Because it's all one machine. So they work, so that hooks them up. That helps us put some drive over the weight. And it's just a case of turning. Get this block that's underneath us. Got it. So in terms of resource collection, I'm quite happy with that actually. It's pretty efficient. It's small. It does have its mistakes, and there is a little bit of suspension required across the various different areas. But it does work. It's pretty neat. Sure, it needs tweaking, but as does everything. But as far as things go, I think that should see us through for collecting resources right now, so we can focus on defense and farm building. Thanks for watching, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope to see you again next episode. Thank you. Bye for now. Bye, guys.